Welcome back! Here are some more terms in Magic to know that the game doesn't explicitly tell you. Now this is part 2. If you haven't seen the first part and you're on YouTube, click on this link right here. Now let's get into it. The first term to know is top deck. This is when you have no cards in hand and you're just ripping cards off the top. You're top decking to pray that you get an answer for whatever you need. But this can also mean when you have something that searches for a card and puts it right on top, like Vampiric Tutor or Enlightened Tutor, something like that, which brings us into our next term, tutoring or fetching. Oh hey, it's me! Tutoring is when you're looking through your deck for a specific card and either putting it on top or putting it in your hand. You can also use the term fetching, and this is more specifically used for your lands, whether you're using the original rare colored fetch lands or something more simple like Evolving Wilds. Next is dig. You dig when you're looking through a certain number of cards off the top of your deck and selecting one or more of them and putting them into your hand. This comes from the card Dig Through Time. Easy to remember. You're just digging for an answer. Next is loot. This is when you draw one card and then discard another card in your hand. This comes from the term Merfolk Looter. Easy to remember. It's when you get one card and then you discard another card. Or it could be the same card if you just drew a card that you didn't want. Now, the opposite of this is to rummage, when you discard a card to draw a card. You can see this often in red. It's the opposite of looting. You discard a card to then draw. You have to decide first. Next is cantrip. A spell will cantrip when you draw a card as a part of its resolution. You can see this in cards like Abundant Growth or Elvish Mystic. Elvish Mystic? Which one is it? What's it called? Elvish, did I get it right? It's not Elvish Mystic. Elvish Eulogist, Elvish Hand Service, Elvish Harbinger, Elvish Healer, Elvish Hex Hunter, Elvish House Party, Elvish Hunter, Elvish Impersonators, Elvish Lyricist, Elvish Mystic, Elvish Pioneer, Elvish Piper, Elvish Promenade, Elvish Reclaimer, Elvish Repealer, Elvish Scrapper, Elvish Spirit Guide, Elvish Vanguard, Elvish Visionary, that's what it's called. It's Elvish Visionary, that's the one that cantrips. So a spell will cantrip when, as it resolves, you draw a card. Now cantrips can also refer to blue spells that cost 1 that can manipulate the top of your deck or just draw some cards. You can see this in cards like Brainstorm, Ponder, Preordain, Opt, Serum Visions. These are all cards that are known as cantrips as well. Here's one that doesn't come up very often anymore, and that's Tuck. You tuck a card when you have the owner of target permanent shuffle it into their deck. You tuck it back into their deck, and so it's just gone until they draw it again. Now, if you're a commander player, you used to be able to tuck commanders into their 99, but they changed this rule so that you can put it into the command zone instead. So you can't effectively tuck commanders anymore. Next is pacify. This is when a creature can't attack or block, and it comes from the card Pacifism. It's pretty easy to remember. If something doesn't want to be involved in fighting, it's a pacifist, so you pacify it. Next is filtering. You filter mana when you pay a mana cost to then get a mana of a different color out. You see this in cards like the Signets or with different lands like Unknown Shores. You filter one mana of one color into a mana of a different color that you need. You're filtering it. Last is floating mana. You float mana when you activate a mana source, but you don't use that mana right away, whether you're saving it for something else in that step or phase, or you have an ability that says mana doesn't drain at the end of each step and phase. You're floating it in your mana pool, which is no longer a term, by the way. Mana pool used to be a thing, but not anymore. You're floating it to use it later. So what'd you think? Did you learn anything new? And what are some other terms that you've heard but don't know the definition to? Let me know. And just remember, it's not about the magic, it's about digging for buried loot.